table salt, pink Himalayan salt, Celtic salt. Which one is the better salt for daily consumption? You about to find out right now.
Hey guys,
My name's Michelle.
Anita, Sarah, Leah, Peyton, Talia, Jazz,
Marquita.
I'm a physique.
Products.
Period. You love to see.
You already know what this is. It is Trehunna from Physique Set, and today what we're going to tackle is why salt raises your blood pressure and what is the better type of salt that you can incorporate every single day. That way you can actually have some food with some flavor into it. Because let's be real, we don't want to eat dry food all day long. We was all taught salt is bad for you. Salt just ultimately raises your blood pressure. But is there any truth to that? Yes. Question is, does all salts raise your blood pressure? No. Here's why. In an average household, we all have iodized table salt or Morton salt, right? So Morton salt, believe it or not, is not real salt. It is processed, it is refined, it is bleached, and it got anti-caking agents. So that's why when you look at Morton salt, when you spill it out, it's kind of fine. It's kind of like sand. It can literally run through your fingers. And you don't feel any big clumps. Now, when it comes to real salt, salt that's coming from the sea, salt that's coming from mountains, like Redmond's red salt. These salts are unrefined, right? And because they're unrefined and they're not processed or bleached, they have a real tint to it. Red salt comes from Utah. You're literally gonna see the color of the salt is literally red. And if you look at Celtic salt, it's kind of gray. Why? Because it's coming from the ocean, from France. So now pink Himalayan salt, that's why it is pink, because it's coming from the Himalaya area. Believe it or not, pink Himalayan salt is not coming from the actual Himalayan mountains. It's coming from like area near Pakistan, by the way. Fun fact. But when it's all said and done, because it is unrefined salt, you're not just getting sodium chloride. So when you look at actual table salt, you're not gonna just see sodium and chloride. You're gonna see anti-caking agents, and some, especially if you're at a restaurant, you're gonna see maltodextrin, which means what? They're literally adding a little bit of sugar into your salt. So this is the reason why your blood pressure raised after you having table or iodized salt, because it just got nothing but sodium in it, and we all know that sodium makes your body retain more water, which means what? It's going to add more fluid or volume into your blood vessels and arteries, which is going to cause your blood pressure to raise. If you bent a garden hose, you're going to notice that it is very firm, it's very stiff, but that's because you raised the pressure in the hose. Now when it comes to other salts, Celtic salt and pink Himalayan salt, which is my preference, not only it got sodium in it, but it also got what? Potassium in it. That's the antagonist. So every single time you have sodium, you need to have some potassium with it that balance the fluid levels in your body. But not only that, it also got calcium in it, but it also got magnesium in it. It also got phosphate in it with the chloride. So when you just refine salt and it's just sodium chloride, this is very harsh for the human body. But when you have unrefined salt, like pink Himalayan salt, right? And by the way, you want to make sure that the only ingredient is what you're paying for, which is pink Himalayan salt. Brand don't really matter that much and price don't matter as much, as long as you look at the ingredient. They cannot lie on the label. Just pay attention to it. You're gonna see that now when you have a balance of the sodium with the potassium, you're not only gonna get more flavor in your food, but now your blood pressure is not going to raise as high, or if at all. Our body needs major minerals, which is basically the electrolytes. It needs sodium, potassium, chloride, phosphate, magnesium, and potassium. Your body also needs trace minerals. It needs copper, it needs zinc, it needs iodine, it needs selenium, it needs molybdenum. These little things add up, but guess what? Majority of Celtic sea salts and pink Himalayan salts has all of these minerals together. Now, the human body needs 102 vitamins and minerals on average for proper function. But you can literally get about 85 of those minerals from pink Himalayan salt itself or Celtic salt. Celtic salt got about like 65 to 70 plus minerals. If you're somebody who has high blood pressure, do you have to cut out all salt consumption? No. You just need to cut out table salt consumption. And by the way, you don't need table salt in your house ever again.
Now Trey, what about iodine? I need my iodine levels to be up. That's what helps my thyroid levels.
You should just get a iodine supplement. And then you can add that along with your pink Himalayan salt or your Celtic salt. And now you're gonna realize that, wow, for some odd reason, if you have a blood pressure monitor, my blood pressure is not rising when I'm using this or Celtic salt opposed to just regular table salt that's just nothing but sodium. That's what raises your blood pressure. Another thing that I want y'all to always remember, salt by itself raises your blood pressure acutely. That is not the thing that keeps your blood pressure high. The thing that keeps your blood pressure high is the hormones within your endocrine system. And believe it or not, processed foods, highly palatable, ultra processed foods are the things that actually keep your blood pressure raised. So you gotta watch out for your refined sugars, refined grains, processed foods in general, and even juices if you want to lower your blood pressure naturally. Why? Because when insulin is high, your kidney is going to secrete a hormone called aldosterone. Aldosterone makes your body retain and hold on to more sodium. But now you're putting this table salt on fries, a starch food. You just added salt and added a little bit more gasoline to the fire, because now the potato is nothing but starch. That's going to make your body raise its insulin levels. But now, because you also spiced it up with some table salt, now it's going to raise your sodium levels. And aldosterone is going to not only maintain how much fluid you got in your body, but it's going to retain the sodium in your body. So it's a cascade of events happening, all because you decided to salt the wrong type of food. So make sure you're salting and having more vegetables. Make sure you're having more fruit. Nobody's gonna put no salt in the fruit, but some people like to put tahini in fruit. And by the way, tahini got a little bit of sodium in it. You can have these things and you can still eat the foods that you desire with salt. Just make sure you get a better version of it, pink Himalayan salt or Celtic salt, and watch your blood pressure drop. If anything, don't raise at all. Now keep in mind, all because pink Himalayan salt and Celtic salt is the best type of salts, that don't mean that's the only thing you can season your food with. One thing that I actually like to use is Fiesta salt-free lemon pepper, and it got a salt and pepper mix just in general. Now you want to get the salt-free versions of it if you're somebody who's dealing with high blood pressure, because keep in mind, your body insulin is up, which means your aldosterone is up, so your body's gonna be a lot more sensitive to salt or sodium. That's why there's some people who are salt sensitive. All that really means is they are deficient in potassium, and the potassium is gonna allow the fluid to be released from your body. Just remember, if you are salt sensitive or you're somebody with high blood pressure, you just need more potassium in your diet, and you get that from leafy green vegetables. People who got high blood pressure, you don't see them eat a lot of vegetables. Let's be real. But also less of these. This is Tony Chachero's. It says it got 170 milligrams of sodium per 1/4 of a teaspoon. Y'all, who in the hell is using 1/4 of a teaspoon? Nobody. People just getting it and you're doing this. You're shaking it like a salt shaker. Because you're doing that, and people like to compound the seasonings, right? You're gonna use some salt. And the Lowry's Light, by the way, says it got 270 milligrams of sodium per 1/4 of a teaspoon. Once again. So because we don't use the serving sizes and we just keep going until the whole chicken got some form of seasoning on it, that is the thing that could potentially cause high blood pressure or why you are salt sensitive. It's just because you are overdosing your salt consumption, you don't even know about it, you know? You want to have more Dash, or you want to have more Fiesta, the salt-free versions, or simply put, just Google potassium salts near me, incorporate this as your base when you season your foods. If you have high blood pressure or you worried about having high blood pressure in the near future because it runs in your family, just make sure that you're having more potassium in your diet. That's what's gonna allow your blood pressure to naturally lower. Cool? Other than that, that's gonna be your reset tip of the day. That's gonna help you stay snatched all the time. No, this summertime. Talk to you soon.